and gents. Robert Sykes, KetoSavage.com, and welcome to week 18 of the Keto Contest Prep. Glad to have you here. Just want to start off by saying I have just discovered these hop teas, and it's a sparkling hop tea. It's made with hops and tea. There's no calories. Some of them have caffeine, some of them don't. But this thing has been a wonder during the contest prep period. It's 0 calories. Ingredients are carbonated water, organic green tea, hops, gluten-free, non-GMO, and it tastes really good. If you like beer and like craft beer and you like and appreciate the taste of hops, then you can probably appreciate this in a tea. I never was much of a beer drinker. I don't really miss it because I never drank it. But I do like having like a full-bodied, full-flavored drink. And during a contest prep when you're hungry and you just want something filling, this does pretty good. Anywho, let's get back into the meat of the matter here. Last video I talked about the CGM that I got, the continuous glucose monitor from NutriSense, and I've been collecting data on that since then, so I figured we kind of dive in and talk about that. So let's dive into my phone first and foremost. All right, we are in the NutriSense app here. You can see I basically started tracking on 2/29 of this past month here. All of these dots indicate an input. So like breakfast, exercise, a fatty drink, sleep, etc., etc. So you can see here I'm trending pretty much in the mid-80s, and then it spikes right here. This is when I'm exercising. So I started training at about, I don't know why it says 9:57, because I started working out earlier than that. So I may have entered the time incorrectly there, but it spikes when I'm training, and then I do my resistance training, which lasts an hour and a half or so, and then I'll do a run shortly thereafter, and then I'll have my OMAD meal. So breakfast there, you see, I had already kind of dropped off on the glucose from the training session. It's pretty typical to see a drop in blood glucose after your body's equalized from training. Immediately after, you're probably going to see a rise in blood glucose, kind of like intra-workout and immediately post-workout. But then after training, after your body equalizes, it's typically going to be a bit lower. So mine was around 86 when I started eating my OMAD meal. And what's interesting is you see a little bit of a dip there post-meal. I'm at 75, and then I start going back up in the 80s there. And then I'm pretty much trending right around the 80s, some 70s, 73. We go to the next day here, 75, 92, just kind of jumping around here. A little higher there at 96, 88, 90. And then again here you see where I spike at like 1016, looks like 116, 117, and that is intra-workout as well. So I'm training at that point. It drops off pretty significantly post-workout, going down to 68, and then have my meal, and then it starts to rise up again, then pretty much hold a baseline right around there in the mid-80s, 75 to 85, looks like pretty much my standard. Go to the next day, and this is what we're looking like here. Again, kind of just sticking with that mid-80s. But I want to kind of show you how this works. So you can just hit that plus button, and then when you hit the plus button, you hit that plus button there, you get this thing that says ready to scan. So I've got the CGM on right now. You just hold it over your arm, and then it scans like so, and then it gives you a new reading. So today is the 4th. Again, you can see where it spiked when I'm training, dropping off again. I'm pretty much like clockwork when it comes to that. And then the test that I just made, where is the test that I just made? Right around there somewhere, it looks like. You can go 2 scans, and then it shows the scan marks. So 82 milligrams per deciliter right there is what I currently just scanned in at, and it just shows all these scans that I've taken. And then you can go to the analytics and then it kind of shows what your average is, your standard deviation, min, max, etc., etc. So no spikes in the day. It's not registering any spikes because none of mine are really crazy high. The spike that I get from training is higher, but not necessarily considered high. There's also the ability to put in, activity, any notes, any, meals, etc., etc. There's an education tab here if you want to learn about testing blood glucose, FAQ. But yeah, I've been pretty impressed with this, and I'll make it. This is worth noting here. The numbers initially when I started testing were a little bit higher than I expected. They were like 130s, and I'm like, I don't think I'm getting 130s. So I started testing with the Keto Mojo glucose meter, and they were showing up in like the 70s and 80s. So one thing you can do is you can reset the baseline. I guess I can just kind of show you how to do that. So you go to settings, you go to settings there, sensor settings, and you can adjust the baseline adjustment. I dropped mine down by negative 15 milligrams per deciliter. I don't necessarily think the Keto Mojo is going to be my best indicator of accurate blood glucose, so I went out and I purchased a Precision Freestyle Precision Neo, I believe is what it's called. I didn't realize it did not come with strips though, so I ordered some test strips from Amazon. I'm going to get a baseline with that and compare that to the Keto Mojo, and then I'm going to compare those two to this sensor here, and then adjust those baseline sensor settings as needed, just so I can get it kind of honed in as closely as possible. But yeah, I've been super intrigued by the information I'm getting here. I'm testing ketones as well. My ketones have been high consistently. Let me just see kind of where I'm at there. So yeah, I've been testing ketones first thing in the morning, and I've been between 1.8 and 2.2, usually first thing in the morning. So I can't really complain there. I feel good about that. Another thing that I'm testing more frequently, or not really testing, but another thing I'm going to start doing more frequently is, now that it is the month of March, I've got a competition on the 28th of this month. I'm going to start playing around a little bit more with my food. I'm going to have, my macros are going to be set at 150 fat this next week, and 120 on the protein this next week. However, I'm going to introduce my first keto caloric refeed this coming Friday, and that's basically going to tell me how my body responds to those keto refeeds. I'm going to have 2 trial refeeds before the actual peak week and day prior to the show refeed, which is what we're practicing for here. So I'm going to keep you posted and up to date on how my body's responding to that. But this next week is my first keto refeed, so that'll put my keto refeed calories at about 2,500, which I'm pretty excited about, because this next week I'll be at about 1,850, which is the lowest I've been in a long time. So that's what we got going on news there. I'm gonna do a much more involved nutritional vlog for next week, as I talk about that. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I wanted to kind of give you a little bit more behind the scenes look at the CGM testing there. By the way, if you are interested in that, they gave me a code. The code is SAVAGE. It is nutrisense.io. I don't get a kickback from that. That's just people. That's just me wanting to put information out there. You get a discount if you use that code. I'm not sure what the price of the sensor is, but to me, this is pretty valuable data, especially as it relates to the next few weeks. I'm going to be titrating my fat. I'm pretty much going to leave my fat constant, and I'm going to be titrating my protein down. So basically what's going to happen there is, I'm currently at about 71% of my calories coming from fat. Going forward, my percentage of calories coming from fat is going to be increasing, because my protein is going to be decreasing. So hypothetically, we should see a decrease in blood glucose, an increase in blood ketones as I get deeper and deeper into this contest prep, as my fat ratio gets higher and higher, and as I really just start optimizing for peaking for the competition itself. So kind of a lot of information with this video. Hopefully you found this interesting. I will definitely keep you up to date, and I look forward to seeing you next week.